What's up, LA Live Gang? This is your boy AC. Welcome back to another edition of LA Sports Live. As you guys come to a video, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you just found the brother, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. And while you at it, make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every day when we drop new videos here on YouTube. Now, you guys see the thumbnail, you see the title. Um, I didn't watch the Laker game last night. I was doing some last minute shopping and just spending some time with the family. I just wasn't really interested in the game, and that's kind of weird. But anyway, um, so I wake up to everybody's panties in a bunch because the Lakers got blown out by the Phoenix Suns. I did peep in, um, and I saw the score at halftime, and I saw the game was relatively close. But one thing I did notice, and I was just looking at the box score, and I said, you know, Phoenix is not really shooting the ball that well. And I looked at their 3-pointer percentage, and I said, I don't think they're going to shoot that bad in the second half. Let's see if the Lakers can still keep up. And just going by the box score, look, we've seen plenty of games like this before that the Lakers won, against lesser teams. Um, they've played fairly well defensively speaking in the first half, and the other team has a bad night shooting, and the Lakers, you know, are able to carry that over the second half, and they eke out a victory. But against a better team, which I think you could really make an argument that Phoenix is the best team right now. I think they have the best record, so you could say they're the best team. So against the best team, in order for the Lakers to beat a team like this, they would have to put forth their best effort, and they didn't. They had an even worse shooting performance, which is we've seen them have games like this before. So this is what happens when you don't shoot the ball well, and you're playing the best team in the league right now. You get your ass whooped, stomped, embarrassed, and that's what happened. The worst thing about it, man, is I really feel bad for LeBron. You know, and on one hand, I feel bad for LeBron because I just feel like this is just a waste. But and on the other hand, he understands that he's been in the league a long time, and he understands these kind of things that happen. There's some things out of your control. And then on the other hand, well, who picked the team? We're all led to believe that he had, along with Anthony Davis, substantial input on picking the team. So if you had substantial input for picking the team, I think pretty much anybody outside of, Anthony Davis, um, Trevor Ariza, uh, maybe Carmelo, anybody outside of those guys, they better have their bags packed because, as frustrated as I am, as frustrated as some of you guys are, or frustrated as Laker Nation is, how you think LeBron feels, even though it's partially his fault, but he's not going to waste the last 2 or 3 years of his career playing for nothing. So we already know, you know what I'm saying? We already know, what's coming. So we got another month. It's like another 2 months before the actual trade deadline, but we got another month before pretty much the whole league becomes available. You got a certain amount of players who just won't be able to be available to trade until mid-January. So we've seen this story before. LeBron's not going to waste his time. It'll be some changes made because we've seen a situation where he's happy or he's content with his team, and usually when even though the reporters ask him every night, you know, when those situations arise, they would just say, he would just say, we have enough. But even going back to the championship year at the trade deadline and right prior to the trade line, they were asking LeBron, do need changes need to be made? Did this and that? Did this and that? Because the talk back then, you guys remember, is they needed another playmaker. They needed another point guard to kind of relieve him because Rondo was always getting hurt, but he's still getting hurt. Anyway, and he said, nah, we have enough. At that year, he said, we have enough. And the Lakers didn't make any trades. They let one or two players go, and they brought, they did a buyout and got Markeith, and the rest is history. Um, I don't think they're going to play out the rest of this year without making any moves, or at least trying. So, like I said, anybody outside LeBron, AD, um, uh, Trevor Ariza, and maybe Carmelo, everybody else is subject to change. So don't get too comfortable in LA, guys, because, and it's a shame, man. It's a shame. I mean, like I said, I didn't see the game last night, but you look at the box score, and everybody has said this, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, man. But the other guys just didn't show up, and the other guys didn't show up, and that's just the way it is. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen games like this where the Lakers had bad shooting games. They're not a 3-point shooting team. They're not a good one at all. So these kind of games are going to happen. So maybe that's why I'm not all upset like some other people, because I know better now. I know better. I'm not going to subject myself, you know, to extra stress by watching some of these games, man, because you already know what's going to happen, man. You already know what's going to happen. You got three best, the team's three best defensive players, I would say, or I feel like this, who've been playing the best defense. Dwight Howard, AB, and Hillbilly Kobe, they were all out in COVID protocol. So, well, what the hell do you expect? The defense ain't going to be good at all until those guys come back. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just kind of irritated. Um, but it is what it is. It is what it is. This thing I saw, I just watched some of the highlights before I came on. LeBron came down on somebody's foot again, and y'all probably had a heart attack when you saw him go down with his ankle. But I told you guys before, that's going to be a problem with him until he retires. So anytime he comes down on that ankle or whatever, it's going to hurt like hell. I told you guys, it's just going to be a situation where he's going to have to learn how to play with it, play through that pain. Because the ankles, they ain't going to be pain free until the off season again. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Anyway, just like the other injuries he's had since he's been on his team, they've stuck with him, you know, the whole time. The Those abdominal issues or whatever, you see he wraps and ices them after every game. So even though he says that they're totally healed, you see he has to nurse them after every game 3 seasons later. So that's just something we have to deal with. Um, how did they get out of it? There's so much. There's so much going on. I mean, the COVID thing is really derailed the Lakers. I felt they was ready to make a move, but if they're going to make a big move, they got to trade Russ. And I know I said that it's probably a bad look or whatever to trade him, but that's the only thing. That's the only way you're going to get any kind of player of significance is to trade Russ. Um, and somebody out there will take him because I believe his contract is up next year. I'm not for sure, or it's no more than 2 years left on it. So whoever will get him would be money coming off the books shortly. So that's always attractive to certain teams. But the last 2 years, here's the thing: the last 2 years, they tried to address the situation of relieving LeBron off the ball because they said he's too old and he needed help. They needed another point guard or whatever. But at this point, he's even older. 3 years later, and the situation is still there. Last year they brought. Hold on, notification. Oh shit. Last year they brought in Dennis Schroeder. They traded Danny Green, brought in Dennis Schroeder. That didn't work. They thought he was going to be the point guard. That shit was a fucking disaster from the beginning. And this year they bring in Russ. Same result. Disaster. I don't see how a guy. I'm not going to blame Russ. I'm not going to blame Russ. You know why? Because LeBron and AD, who the fuck was in on this decision to bring him? Russell Westbrook has been in the league over 10 years. So you know what you're getting. So I just don't understand the thinking, what they thought was going to happen. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. I know that Samurai Beast where I hadn't even got to that because that's just something, that's just something that was made up just to have something to talk about. And Rich Paul just released a statement and said that he just released a statement through Shams and saying that it was all bullshit. So we already knew that, man. There's no way. LeBron is in LA for a number of reasons, one of which is to play basketball, but he's there for a number of other reasons. And ain't no way in hell he's just gonna pick up everything, all these businesses and things he's got going on, to go back to dumbass, stupid ass, backward ass Cleveland. So we knew that was just a rumor. So we don't have to worry about LeBron leaving, even to even discuss that anymore. Anyway, um, yeah, the only piece they have of a significance, um, the only piece that they have of significance to move to get any kind of players that would affect change will be to move Russ. And I got mixed. Well, um, you got to do what you got to do, but I'm just saying I don't really blame him because he's been the same player. So he's doing the same dumbass, stupid ass stuff that he's been doing for years. The black Skip Bayless said LeBron is leaving the Lakers. Oh, you know, that's what he says. But you know what? If he leaves the Lake, anyway, it doesn't matter. The black Skip Bayless, I'm gonna just say like this, and I don't talk about other people like that on the channel or whatever. But guys like me, they would be lying. You know what I'm saying? To say if we hadn't learned anything from the black Skip Bayless, or if even to the tiniest extent that we haven't patterned our channels after the black Skip Bayless, minus all the cussing and disrespecting people and all that kind of stuff, and the general cap that happens over there. But um, I did listen to his latest video, and a lot of stuff he's right about. But he could be right about assessing the Lakers situation without talking all that crap about LeBron James, unnecessary crap. So anyway, enough about that. Like I was saying, the only piece I think they have of significance to move is the Russ. It would be a shame because it would be a bad look on the Lakers. But I don't think the Lakers are going to stand pat with this the whole year without at least trying to make a move. So, um, one thing about Jeannie Buss, she is conscious and she is, you know, concerned about how the what the fans think and how they feel. But also, she kind of leaves the basketball to Rob, and she kind of runs a business situation. And her main focus is, of course, she wants to win, but she also has to sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? She has to sell tickets and pay the bills. So that's why the Lakers, this has just been their model, how they run things. That's why a lot of times they do concentrate on big name players and star players. But in this case, and this is another thing I want to bring up, that the Lakers, they've kind of made a mistake. And um, case in point, you look at the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors had a couple down years because of injuries. But you didn't see them going out digging up everybody and anybody. No, LeBron's not leaving the Lakers. It's all cap. LeBron is not leaving the Lakers. But you look at the Warriors, they had a down couple years, and what they did is, they re-signed all their players, their free agents, they kept them, um, and they brought in some kids to supplement, and they took their lumps, but they kept the team together, the core part of the team together. They dumped Iguodala because that was a big contract they didn't need, and they just brought in some kids. They brought in Wiggins. At the time, people thought Wiggins was trash, but guess what? They took their lumps for 2 seasons, and now they're back on top. One of the best teams, and maybe that's the situation the Lakers should have did. The Lakers should have maybe not gotten all these veterans, just get some solid young players, put them with the stars, taking their lumps, and maybe they could have cultivated something. Because to be honest with you, LeBron will be 37 at the end of the year, well, next week. But honestly, he looks fine. You just have to worry about him coming down on that ankle fine, coming down on that ankle the wrong way or coming down somebody's foot. But other than that, LeBron is fine. He almost looks like he can still do this another 2 years. You can't build your team around what you think is going to happen, around him. You at this point the Lakers should just act as if he's going to be able to play out and fulfill his contract, and try to just piece a good team around him, man. Because all the old fogies, that ain't working. That ain't working. Um, we've seen how well Trevor Ariza has played his 2 games. And it's just, man, it's really kind of sad, because you see how well Trevor Ariza has played. You see how well he complements LeBron and even Westbrook, and it just makes you wonder, shit, what if we had to do it the whole year, man? What if we had him the whole year? What if? So, it just kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it goes. So anyhow, um, I don't know. Just to sum up the game last night, even though I didn't watch it, it just looked like another game where the Lakers had a bad shooting night, and that's just the way it is. So who we got? We got I think San Antonio next, and then we may have Brooklyn on Christmas. I think I just saw Brooklyn's next game got canceled. So, well, Samurai Beast Warrior, if you fire, here's the thing. I did a video a couple weeks ago, and even though I was campaigning to get Vogel out of there, I also did a video. It's like, if you look at David Fizdale's record as a coach, it ain't much better. It ain't much better, man. And the first game, Fizdale coach, it was fine. The Lakers wasted a great effort by LeBron James. They really want to win that game for Coach Fizz. But in this game, I don't know. We get blown out. So that's what I'm just saying, man. I don't know that firing a coach is really the answer for this team. I think we just have to wait till the personnel is here and whole, and then you have to wait till the personnel is here and the team is whole, and then we have to make evaluations from there. And so that ain't gonna happen until next year when we get Kendrick Nunn back. Yeah, he probably will. Hey, Samurai Beast Warrior. Now, Bad Boy for Life. He came in. He came on the panel yesterday on Goat Mike. So they was calling you out, Samurai Beast Warrior. And it's like, hey, Samurai Beast Warrior, Bad Boys for Life, always be in the chat of all the Lakers channel, but y'all don't never come on the panel. So they was calling you out over on Go Mike channel. I don't know if you saw that yesterday. So at some point, Samurai Beast Warrior, we gotta get you on the panel on one of these Laker channels. But anyway, I appreciate your support, bro. I don't know. If you fire Rob Pelinka, man, who you gonna bring in? And here's the thing. I agree with you. Rob Pelinka probably needs to be fired. I don't think it's going to happen. But what I think Rob Pelinka needs to do is, and I think I heard Kareem say this, Lakers talk with Kareem. Rob Pelinka needs to take control of the team, of the roster. I know he likes to get his input from the star players like LeBron and AD, but I don't know because he comes from being an agent, so he believes in cultivating those relationships or whatever. But he's got to look out. He's got to look out for the long term interests of the Lakers, and he's got to next offseason. He's really got to take control of the roster, and maybe only give LeBron and AD so much input. Man, he can't let them have AC Green. He still works. He still works for the Laker organization. I think he's an announcer for the G League team. Actually, you ran into him one time at the market in El Segundo by Laker headquarters. He's pretty cool. But anyway, um, Rob's got to take control of the team. He's got to look after the best interest for the Lakers because when LeBron leaves, we know what happens to the teams. They're decimated because all the draft picks are gone, and all the good players haven't been cultivated, or they've all been traded away. So Rob has to make sure that this doesn't happen to the Lakers, or he's got to kind of just make sure it doesn't happen too bad. Because really, if you look at it now, what as far as young players, well, actually, I'll take that back. I mean, I think the younger players for the Lakers, people are going to want them. That's why they're playing. That's why they're playing THT so many minutes because they're actually trying to showcase THT, hoping that he will play well, so they could trade his ass. But if he keeps having these bum ass games, I don't know what's going to happen, man. I don't know what's going to happen. Uh, but I did another video and I read another story but teams are interested. They are interested in Malik Monk for extra scoring off the bench, and the other teams are interested in there's still interest in THT, and there's also interest in the undrafted rookie Reeves. A lot of people like Reeves for whatever reason. I mean, for an undrafted rookie, you know, he's played okay. So they do have assets, but all those guys are like on minimum contracts. So it's like you can't really, you can't really get too much for them, man. So I don't know, but I know Rob is working the phones. I know he's calling a lot of people. A lot of people are calling the Lakers, believing that, and they'll try to put something together, man. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Ultimately, the guys we have, they just have to get healthy and play better together. That's it, man. Not really much else we could do, man. Not really much else we could do. So, um, anyway, guys, that's all I got, man. It's you gotta. It's a long season. I'll say this: it's a long season. It is still far from over with. It's still far from over with. The Lakers just have to regroup, get these guys back from COVID. I don't know. Does anybody know, or did anybody get an explanation? Um, THT, THT, and Dwight were both cleared from protocol, but how come Dwight didn't play? I saw THT play, but how come Dwight didn't play? So I heard a lot of people screaming about Vogel. I mean, not Vogel, whoever, they just screaming about why Dwight didn't play. So I need to have an explanation as to why he didn't play. I'm just going to assume that there was a reason, right? Because you don't you don't you don't opt to play a sorry ass, washed ass DeAndre Jordan for over 20 minutes if you got a healthy Dwight available. If you opt to play a washed, and I mean fucking super washed Dwight, I mean, what the fuck is DeAndre Jordan? You don't play a washed DJ and a fucking J Huff over a healthy Dwight Howard. So I'm just going to assume that Dwight Howard, it was an issue. He couldn't go last night. He was tired. He was sick. He was dehydrated. Some shit. I don't know. But I'm just going to go ahead and assume that was something wrong with him. He couldn't play last night. Because other than that, that don't make no damn sense. Anyway, anyhow, That's it, guys. We got about a good, nice 30-minute stream. I think this is like a cool time for me to come on. Nobody else is on. I ain't got nobody else to listen to. So that's cool. I appreciate you guys jumping in the chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I I really appreciate the support. We're gonna have a giveaway. Once I get to 1,200 subscribers, I'm gonna give a giveaway. Uh, well, you probably right. Samurai Beast Warrior, where are you in the United States? Let me know, because really, it's out of you or Bad Boys for Life. You guys support the channel, so more than likely the first giveaway is gonna go to you guys. But I was just curious. I know Bad Boys for Life. He's not in the country, but I was just wondering if you were in the country because it'd be kind of hard for me to get him some if he's not in the country. But anyway, let me know. Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. Anyway, I'll put my contact information in there when I do the giveaway. But I appreciate you guys' support. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. We got a long ways to go. We got a long ways to go, and a lot can happen between even now and the trade deadline, let alone the end of the season. So we got a lot that can happen. So I'm still gonna say stay optimistic. No need to wave the white flag just yet. We still got more basketball to play. Anyway, this is your boy AC, LA Sports Live. I will wrap with y'all later. Peace.